Hello Golden State Warriors fans. We are here once again to bring you the latest news related to our team, and I would like to emphasize how committed we are to improving our performance to achieve great results. Before we dive into this intriguing news, I kindly request you to show your support by clicking the like button, and if you are not yet subscribed to our channel, I invite you all to join us on an exciting journey. Remember to turn on notifications so you don't miss anything.
The Warriors walked into Los Angeles knowing it would take discipline and sharp shooting to beat the Lakers. Instead, missed opportunities from beyond the arc told the story of a frustrating night. Golden State fell 105-99 on Saturday after converting just 14 of their 51 three-point attempts. A staggering 37 misses that repeatedly halted any chance of building momentum. The struggles were evident from the opening minutes, as the Warriors failed on their first 8 shots from deep before Moody finally broke the drought. Moody refused to let the night slip away quietly. He delivered a standout performance, leading all scorers with 25 points and knocking down 5 threes, continuing to show why his role in the rotation keeps growing. Gui Santos added another strong chapter to his recent run, scoring all 15 of his points in the second half and extending his streak of double-digit games, a sign of increasing confidence when the team needs it most. For Pat Spencer, the night carried extra meaning. Just hours after his two-way contract was converted into a standard NBA deal, he played with the urgency of someone determined to prove he belongs on basketball's biggest stage. Spencer finished with 14 points, 7 assists, and 5 rebounds, impacting nearly every possession he touched. On the other side, LeBron James once again demonstrated why he remains one of the league's defining forces. He led the Lakers with 20 points, 10 assists, and 7 rebounds, while Austin Reeves energized the team off the bench with 16 points and 8 assists. Los Angeles shot an efficient 47% from 3 on 27 attempts and capitalized at the line, making 24 of 30 free throws, the kind of execution that often decides tight games. Spencer delivers a Hollywood moment. Saturday was already unforgettable for Spencer, but he added a highlight worthy of the spotlight. With the final possession of the first half ticking away, he found himself isolated against none other than LeBron James. Driving into the paint, Spencer lifted a high-arcing floater over James's outstretched arms, beating the buzzer and giving the Warriors a 1-point halftime lead. It was a fearless play that captured the tone of his performance. Confident, aggressive, and unafraid of the moment. Spencer was one of 4 Warriors to score at least 9 points before halftime. Alongside Moody, 10, Brandon Porzingis, 9, and Gary Payton II, 9, the group combined for 37 of Golden State's 42 first-half points, carrying the offense during a stretch when rhythm was hard to find. LeBron takes over the third. The first half had been a defensive grind, with neither team producing a scorer above 10 points. That changed in a flash after the break. LeBron erupted for 12 points in just 3 minutes, igniting the arena and shifting the game's emotional balance. With both Stephen Curry and Luka Doncic absent for their respective teams, James stood as the lone all-star on the floor, and he played like it. His third-quarter surge powered the Lakers to a 9-point advantage in the period and ultimately reshaped the outcome. He closed the night with a commanding double, controlling the tempo whenever the Lakers needed stability. Green brings fire against a familiar rival. Draymond Green has never hidden his intensity, but some matchups draw out an even deeper competitive edge. Facing longtime friend and postseason rival, LeBron James, Green played with visible emotion. After drilling a 3-pointer over James, Green leaned in and delivered a message that echoed across the court. "Boom! You better guard me tight like I'm Steph Curry." The exchange was classic Draymond, part confidence, part gamesmanship. He finished with 9 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds, and a +11 rating across 33 minutes, providing leadership even as the Warriors searched for offensive consistency. Porzingis speaks as a Warrior. For the first time, newly acquired center, Kristaps Porzingis joined the team in Los Angeles and addressed the media for the first time since becoming a Warrior. The 7'3" star expressed genuine excitement about joining a veteran core, reconnecting with a familiar face in Al Horford, and playing in front of one of the NBA's most passionate fan bases. Porzingis made it clear he believes his skill set fits naturally within Golden State's system, spacing the floor, protecting the rim, and adding another offensive dimension. He also revealed that he is targeting a debut shortly after the All-Star break, a timeline that could give the Warriors a major boost as the season intensifies. A loss, but not without signals. Despite the defeat, the game offered glimpses of resilience and emerging depth. Moody's scoring punch, Santos's second-half impact, and Spencer's breakthrough performance suggest the Warriors continue to develop pieces that could matter down the stretch. Still, the numbers leave little room for debate. When a team misses 37 three-pointers, the margin for error disappears. If Golden State hopes to climb the standings and reassert itself as a contender, efficiency, not just effort, must become the priority. Because on nights like this, even strong individual performances aren't enough to overcome cold shooting and a superstar determined to seize control. The loss also reignited a familiar conversation around Golden State's identity this season. The Warriors continue to generate high-quality looks from beyond the arc, but volume without efficiency has become a recurring problem. Missing 37 three-point attempts doesn't just hurt the scoreboard, it drains energy, limits transition defense, and places constant pressure on the half-court defense to be nearly perfect. Steve Kerr acknowledged after the game that the process was not entirely broken, but the margin for error shrinks dramatically when shots refuse to fall. Against a team like the Lakers, which thrives on free throws and timely execution, every empty possession becomes magnified. Los Angeles's ability to convert at the line and control late-game tempo ultimately neutralized Golden State's brief runs. From a broader perspective, the defeat carries weight in the Western Conference race. Games between direct competitors often double as tiebreakers, and dropping a winnable road game could have postseason implications months from now. With the standings tightly packed, consistency, especially on the road, remains one of the Warriors' biggest challenges. There were, however, meaningful takeaways beyond the final score. Moody's offensive growth is becoming harder to ignore, not just as a spot-up shooter, but as a confident scorer willing to attack closeouts and take responsibility in key moments. Santos's continued production reinforces the coaching staff's trust in his role, while Pat Spencer's performance adds another layer of depth to a backcourt that has battled injuries and rotation changes. Defensively, Golden State showed stretches of discipline, particularly in the first half. But LeBron James's third-quarter takeover exposed the difficulty of sustaining that focus against elite decision-makers. Once James dictated matchups and pace, the Lakers were able to bend the game in their favor without needing explosive shooting nights from multiple players. Looking ahead, the Warriors now face mounting pressure to stabilize before the All-Star break. The anticipated return of key contributors and the eventual debut of Kristaps Porzingis loom large, offering hope for better spacing, interior scoring, and rim protection. His integration into the system could reshape rotations and reduce the offensive burden currently placed on perimeter shooting. For now, the message inside the locker room remains clear. The effort level is there, the competitiveness is intact, but results will not change without sharper execution. Nights like Saturday serve as a reminder that small inefficiencies can undo strong performances, especially against teams built to capitalize on mistakes. The Warriors leave Los Angeles with another narrow loss, one that reflects both their potential and their fragility. How they respond in the next stretch may define whether this season becomes a story of gradual resurgence or one of missed chances in a crowded Western Conference. The Golden State Warriors have made a franchise-altering move, officially acquiring Kristaps Porzingis, the 7'2" unicorn and reigning NBA champion, in a trade with the Atlanta Hawks announced Thursday. It's a bold addition that reshapes both the present and future of the Warriors' identity. Porzingis arrives as one of the most unique big men of his generation. In his 10-year NBA career, he has averaged 19.6 points, 7.7 rebounds, and 1.8 blocks per game, blending elite rim protection with perimeter shooting in a way few players ever have. Among active players, only 5 have reached the rare milestone of at least 900 career three-pointers and 900 blocks. Porzingis is one of them, joining an exclusive group that includes his new teammate Al Horford, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Brook Lopez. That combination of size, skill, and versatility is exactly what makes this acquisition so significant for Golden State. Porzingis most recently proved his championship value with the Boston Celtics, where he played a pivotal role in their 2024 NBA title run alongside Horford. In the finals, he became one of just 7 players since 1970 to score more than 20 points in a finals game while playing fewer than 24 minutes, setting the tone in the opening game of the series and immediately shifting momentum. Before the title was secured, Celtics star Jason Tatum made it clear how vital Porzingis was to their success. "He's the most important player for us to reach our goal," Tatum said at the time. "We're a different team when he's on the floor." Finals MVP Jaylen Brown echoed that sentiment, praising Porzingis not only for his talent but for his impact on team chemistry. "There was an automatic connection from day one," Brown said. "He transformed our offense." Celtics head coach Joe Mazzulla highlighted another element that often goes unnoticed on the stat sheet: Porzingis' psychological impact on opponents. "He doesn't just alter shots," Mazzulla said. "He changes the way the other team thinks." At 218 meters tall, Porzingis is officially one of the tallest starting centers in the NBA today. Only Victor Wembanyama of the Spurs and Zach Edey of the Grizzlies stand taller this season. Yet, like Wembanyama, Porzingis defies traditional expectations for players of his size. His ability to stretch the floor to the three-point line helped redefine what elite big men could be long before the league fully embraced that model. While Wembanyama is often called an alien, Porzingis earned his nickname years earlier. In 2016, Kevin Durant famously labeled him a unicorn. "He can shoot, he makes the right plays, he can defend," Durant said. "A 7-foot guy who can shoot threes and block shots. That's a unicorn in this league." That rare profile is precisely what the Warriors have lacked for much of their dynastic run. Draymond Green, now set to share the front court with Porzingis, has long admired his game. "I think he's a great player," Green said earlier in Porzingis' career. "I love the passion, the fire he plays with." From a tactical standpoint, Porzingis' arrival unlocks multiple possibilities. It allows Green to operate more consistently at his natural power forward position while having one of the league's tallest and most skilled rim protectors behind him. Offensively, Porzingis' shooting creates ideal spacing, opening driving lanes and forcing defenses to make uncomfortable choices. Having already proven effective alongside Horford, Porzingis also gives Steve Kerr the flexibility to experiment with two-center lineups. Combined with the development of second-year center Quinton Post, the Warriors now possess a level of front-court versatility rarely seen in the Kerr era. Ultimately, Porzingis brings an archetype Golden State has not traditionally had, and one that has scarcely existed in NBA history. He is not just a big man, but a structural advantage: size without sacrificing skill, defense without losing spacing, and championship experience without compromising adaptability. As the regular season enters its most decisive stretch, the addition of another veteran champion injects new belief into the Warriors' locker room. If Porzingis integrates smoothly into the system, this move could redefine Golden State's ceiling and remind the league that the Warriors are still capable of evolving, even after everything they've already won. Beyond the immediate excitement, league executives are already viewing the move as one that could quietly shift the balance of power in the Western Conference. For years, opponents built their defensive game plans around limiting Stephen Curry's gravity and daring the Warriors to win inside. With Porzingis now in the lineup, that strategy becomes far more dangerous. Defenses can no longer collapse freely into the paint without risking open perimeter looks from a 7'2" shooter who is comfortable well beyond the arc. At the same time, smaller lineups will think twice before switching, knowing Porzingis can punish mismatches near the rim or simply shoot over defenders with little resistance. Inside the Warriors organization, the expectation is not just improvement, it is transformation. Golden State has often relied on speed, spacing, and ball movement rather than size. While that formula delivered championships, recent seasons exposed the physical toll of battling bigger, more interior-focused teams deep into the schedule. Porzingis directly addresses that vulnerability by adding length, rebounding presence, and elite shot deterrence. His presence could also help preserve Draymond Green over the long season. Instead of constantly anchoring the defense against larger centers, Green can return to what he does best, quarterbacking the defense, switching across positions, and igniting transition opportunities. There is also a ripple effect offensively. The pick-and-pop potential between Curry and Porzingis projects to be one of the most difficult actions in basketball to guard. If defenders chase Curry, Porzingis has a clean look. If they stay attached to the big man, Curry gains the split-second advantage he needs to create chaos. Around the league, scouts are particularly intrigued by how this partnership might perform in high-leverage playoff possessions, where half-court execution often determines survival. Health, however, will remain the quiet subplot. Porzingis has delivered dominant stretches throughout his career, but has also battled injuries that interrupted momentum. The Warriors' performance staff is expected to manage his workload carefully, prioritizing long-term availability over short bursts of heavy usage. If he stays on the floor, the upside is undeniable. For the locker room, the psychological impact may be just as important as the tactical one. Championship teams often speak about the confidence that comes from knowing help is behind you, that mistakes can be erased at the rim, and that scoring droughts can be broken by a single matchup advantage. Porzingis provides both forms of security. Younger players, in particular, stand to benefit from his presence. Having another proven veteran who understands playoff intensity raises internal standards, reinforcing the habits required for deep postseason runs. Timing also plays a crucial role in this acquisition. As the season moves toward its final chapters, integrating a player of Porzingis's caliber signals urgency. The Warriors are not positioning themselves for the distant future. They are making it clear that the window to contend remains open right now. Opposing coaches will spend the coming weeks studying new coverage schemes. Front courts across the conference will be forced to adjust to a matchup that simply did not exist before this trade. And perhaps most importantly, the move sends a message. Golden State is not standing still. After years of redefining modern basketball with small ball dominance, the Warriors are once again evolving, this time by blending their trademark shooting with rare size. It is a reminder that sustained success in the NBA belongs to organizations willing to adapt before the rest of the league catches up. Whether Porzingis becomes the final piece of another title pursuit will be decided in the months ahead. But one thing is already clear. The Warriors did not acquire the unicorn to make a subtle improvement. They brought him in to change what opponents see when they look across the floor, and to ensure that when the games matter most, Golden State is built to answer every challenge. Moody is already beginning to cash the check the Golden State Warriors quietly wrote for him at the trade deadline. When the Warriors pulled the trigger on a high-stakes deal, sending Jonathan Kuminga and Buddy Hield away for the unpredictable but immensely talented Kristaps Porzingis, the move drew immediate attention. It was bold, risky, and filled with both championship upside and potential regret. If Porzingis stays healthy, Golden State may have found the missing piece that vaults them back into serious title contention. If not, the trade could cast a long shadow over the season, and over the decision to part ways with Kuminga's long-term promise. But hidden within that blockbuster decision was another message, one that didn't generate headlines at first. The Warriors chose to keep Moody. For the past few seasons, Moody's name had surfaced repeatedly in trade rumors, including hypothetical packages involving superstars like Giannis Antetokounmpo. Yet when the moment of truth arrived, Golden State held on to him, a quiet but powerful vote of confidence in his growth. On Saturday night against the Los Angeles Lakers, Moody wasted no time showing why that belief may have been justified. He delivered a team-high 25 points, adding 4 rebounds and 2 assists, while shooting an efficient 47.1% from the field. On a night when the Warriors struggled offensively, Moody became their most reliable source of scoring, steady, aggressive, and unafraid of the moment. And perhaps more importantly, he looked ready for something bigger. A golden opportunity now. In his 5th season in the Bay Area, Moody has steadily evolved into one of the Warriors' most dependable role players, the type every contender needs but few develop patiently enough to keep. Across 51 games this season, he is averaging 11.4 points, 3.3 rebounds, and 1.4 assists, while knocking down an impressive 40.2% of his three-point attempts. He has started 40 games, and his place in Steve Kerr's rotation is no longer a question. Still, keeping him at the deadline was not without risk. Moody has endured shooting slumps before, and his team-friendly contract made him an attractive trade asset. Had the Warriors flipped him for another proven star, many around the league would have understood the logic. Instead, Golden State bet on internal development, a philosophy that helped build their dynasty but has also tested their patience in recent years. Now Moody has a chance to make that gamble look brilliant. He has never been known as a high-volume scorer, but alongside offensive engines like Stephen Curry and Jimmy Butler, he doesn't need to be. What the Warriors need is efficiency, defensive discipline, and timely scoring, and Moody is increasingly showing he can provide all three. If he can maintain his three-point accuracy while increasing his offensive aggression, pushing his production into the 15 to 18-point range, he could transform from a complementary piece into a true difference maker. That kind of leap would dramatically raise Golden State's ceiling. Of course, the Warriors have been down this road before. Banking on young talent is inspiring when it works, and frustrating when it doesn't. Potential alone has never guaranteed postseason success. But Moody appears determined to remove the uncertainty. What stands out most is his composure. There is no rush to his game, no visible pressure weighing on his decisions. He plays like someone who understands the system, trusts his preparation, and knows his moment is arriving. As the season enters its defining stretch, Moody's trajectory may quietly become one of the Warriors' most important storylines. Star power wins headlines, but depth wins playoff series, and Golden State may be discovering that it already has more of it than many assumed. The front office showed faith when it mattered most. Now, with every confident shot and every poised performance, Moses Moody is showing signs that the investment is already paying off. Inside the organization, there is growing belief that Moody's development is arriving at exactly the right time. Championship-caliber teams often reveal themselves not only through their stars, but through the players who step forward when defenses tighten and rotations shorten. Moody is beginning to look like someone built for those moments. Coaches have increasingly trusted him in high-pressure stretches, a subtle but meaningful shift that reflects how far he has come defensively. Once viewed primarily as a floor spacer, Moody is now showing stronger instincts on that end, fighting through screens, staying disciplined in help coverage, and using his length to disrupt passing lanes. Those details matter more as the playoffs approach, when every possession slows and mistakes are magnified. There is also a noticeable change in his offensive mindset. Rather than waiting for the game to find him, Moody has started attacking closeouts with purpose, putting the ball on the floor and forcing defenders into uncomfortable decisions. That added layer makes him far less predictable and far more dangerous within Golden State's motion offense. Veterans inside the locker room have taken notice. Players often talk about the importance of staying ready, but Moody is becoming a real example of what that looks like. Through fluctuating minutes and constant trade speculation, he remained professional, prepared, and patient, traits that tend to earn long-term respect in a veteran-driven environment. His emergence could not be more timely. With roster changes reshaping the team and expectations rising after the Porzingis trade, the Warriors need stability wherever they can find it. Moody provides exactly that. A low-maintenance, high-impact presence who doesn't require plays to be called for him to influence the game. From a strategic perspective, his growth gives Steve Kerr more lineup flexibility. Surrounding Curry with multiple reliable shooters stretches defenses to their breaking point, while Moody's defensive progress allows the coaching staff to avoid sacrificing stops for spacing. It is the kind of balance contenders constantly search for. There is also a financial ripple effect worth noting. Developing a productive two-way wing on a favorable contract offers the front office valuable breathing room in an era defined by strict salary cap rules. Impact players outperforming their deals often become the difference between good teams and sustainable contenders. Still, the real test lies ahead. Opponents will begin scouting him differently. The open looks may shrink. Defensive assignments will grow tougher. Consistency, the hardest leap for any young player, will determine whether this surge becomes a lasting breakthrough or just a promising stretch. Yet the signs are encouraging. Moody is no longer playing like someone trying to justify his place in the league. He is playing like someone ready to shape winning basketball. For Golden State, this evolution subtly changes the conversation about their future. Rather than relying solely on established stars to carry the burden, the Warriors may be building a roster where the next wave is prepared to share it. And if Moses Moody continues on this trajectory, the decision to keep him at the deadline may eventually be remembered not as a risk, but as one of the smartest moves the franchise made all season.